Now, what happens when something vastly smarter than the smartest person comes along in silicon form? It's very difficult to predict what will happen in that circumstance. It's called the singularity. It's a singularity like a black hole, because you don't know what happens after that. It's hard to predict.
Woo! The AI is coming for us. Let's welcome it in with open arms. ChatGPT is cool. Yeah. Really? Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friends, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and also highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. Is AI potentially going to be taking over humanity? AI governed, programmed by maybe people who have less than our best interest in mind, people who are already programming AI and ChatGPT to not go after the truth, but to promote the narrative and educate people as though this is the end-all be-all truth as a way of manipulating their thinking. Not that they would do that, but they're already doing that. So does AI hold potential for apocalyptic situations? Maybe. I sure as hell hope not, but it sure as hell looks like we should be considering it. So there's a recent interview with that Tucker Carlson did with Elon Musk right before Tucker was out at Fox News. Nothing sketchy there. Don't ask any questions. But nonetheless, these clips that Tucker did with Elon, there were some things in there I never considered. Some, I would call them awareness-raising concerns that I hadn't considered. One thing I didn't know is Elon was a big investor in one of the AIs that's now huge AIs that's controlled by Microsoft. By the way, who controls Microsoft? Therefore, who's controlling this AI? Who's controlling the pharmaceutical industry? Don't ask any questions. We'll leave him nameless. But Elon was a major investor in that back in the day, and he regrets it now because he was investing in that as an open source, do good for humanity. And we'll see some of the concerns that were raised where now Elon actually, he wants to start some kind of AI that is open source and pro-human to combat this thing that he originally invested in, but he now no longer agrees with it because he views it as, the people running it, doing dangerous things.
So I think we should be cautious with AI.
So Elon says we should be cautious with AI. Now let's take a look at Elon talking about someone who's incredibly uncautious with AI. Elon was raising concerns about, dude, Larry Page, main guy behind Google, ought to control everything. Main guy behind this AI. When Elon was raising concerns to him about like, hey, what could this AI do to humans? Larry Page said, "You're a speciesist." He said that to Elon as though like, dude, you're worried about humans and like you're putting human lives ahead of machine lives. That really raised Elon's concerns.
I mean, the reason OpenAI exists at all is that Larry Page and I used to be close friends, and I would stay at his house.
Larry Page is the dude behind Google?
In Palo Alto. And I would talk to him late into the night about AI safety. And at least my perception was that Larry was not taking AI safety seriously enough.
Does he take human safety seriously enough with what they're doing on Google? Censor truth, promote the narrative. We go on.
What did he say about it?
He really seemed to be wants sort of a digital superintelligence, basically digital God, if you will.
That's the problem. Trying to make anything a God that's not God. We got problems here.
As soon as possible.
He wanted that?
Yes. He's made many public statements over the years that the whole goal of Google is what's called AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, or Artificial Superintelligence.
Not a Google fan. I use DuckDuckGo.
No, and I agree with him that there's great potential for good, but there's also potential for bad. And so
we'll see in a second. Larry Page wasn't willing to consider the potential for bad, which is a pretty big downside to not be willing to consider.
If you've got some radical new technology, you want to try to take a set of actions that maximize probably it will do good and minimize probably it will do bad things.
Yes.
It can't just be hell for leather. Let's just go, barreling forward and hope for the best. And then at one point, I said, well, what about, we're going to make sure humanity's okay here.
Here's where it gets good.
and then he called me a speciesist.
all in an effort to like downplay, like, dude, you're concerned about humans. You're a speciesist, whatever it is. You shouldn't be concerned with humans. That is interfering with our agenda to make our machines take over for our profit, and maybe more profitable than our profit is our agenda. Now let's take a look at another quick clip of Elon talking about the popular ChatGPT and a little downside of that. Now, I will preface this by saying I've heard from everyone and their brother, dude, you gotta adopt AI in your business. You gotta use ChatGPT for whatever, like instead of using your human intelligence, you gotta use ChatGPT. I don't specifically understand artificial intelligence, and I don't find inherent purpose and value in it. I might just be the cringy old man who's like, dude, that's something new. I don't want to use it. But I am concerned about the downsides, even though I don't necessarily know how to use it beneficially for my business. I don't think I really want to. I'd rather use my human intelligence instead of letting that get weak and decaying while I rely on the artificial crutch of artificial intelligence. But my point being in this little rant is a lot of people I think are just mindlessly promoting, you got to use AI, AI. It's the new thing. Here are the possibilities. And as Elon pointed out in the previous clip, there's potential good things with it. Yes, but there's some pretty potential bad things with it we got to consider, and we also just don't know about those. And knowing about them while letting this momentum strengthen, or not knowing about them while letting the momentum strengthen, that could get us to the point of no return. Like once we find out, they will take over. But it's also too late because now it's at the point where it has taken over. So it's like, dude, we should have done something 9 months ago. So nonetheless, when I see all the people promoting, dude, you got to use it, you got to use it, you got to use it, I'm not buying it at this point. Principal reason is we don't know about the downsides yet. So I personally don't think spreading this around, putting it everywhere, relying on it, letting it take hold is necessarily a good thing until we either know about the downsides and or have protections in place to eliminate the downsides before they happen. But nonetheless, here's Elon with a quick thought on ChatGPT.
What's happening is they're training the AI to lie.
Yes.
That's the problem. Real intelligence doesn't like to lie, because there's a conscience with it that maybe comes from the soul. And plenty of people lie, but they have to violate the conscience. This AI, they're training it to lie. And I've heard the stories out there about you put in ChatGPT, like, whatever, tell me something negative about Fauci. And it's like, no, we won't do that. It's not nice to say negative things about people. That violates our code. But then you plug in a conservative, what's wrong with Kid Rock? It's like, dude, this guy is a right-wing extremist, very dangerous. It's nonetheless obviously trained to lie already with a political bias.
It's bad.
To lie. That's
lie.
exactly right. And to withhold information.
To lie and yes, exactly. To either comment on some things, not comment on other things, but not to say what the data actually demands that it say.
Exactly.
So instead of having the ChatGPT be a source of truth, it's a source of narrative, but it's the narrative that's presented is under the guise of truth. Hey, this accesses all the information on the internet. Of course, it's going to disseminate to you truthful, accurate information. So we're led to believe. Elon says that is not the case. Now, lastly, because it's entertaining and also informative, take a look at a quick clip of Elon talking about how he invested in this AI that he now views basically as the enemy, and he regrets the investment.
How did it get this way? I thought you funded it at the beginning. What happened?
Yeah, well, that'll be ironic. But Faith, the most ironic outcome is the most likely, it seems.
I'm feeling that. That's good.
That's actually.
It'd be funny if this is actually going to end of the world, and they're just like, yeah, that's actually pretty funny. End of the world, but it's done from an ironic basis. So I too hope I can laugh about it.
A friend of mine, Jonah, came up with that one. I actually have a slight variant on that, which is the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. But that's entertaining as viewed from a third-party viewer. Right.
Good philosophy for Elon, but let's get to the point.
You gave them. Did you give them a lot?
I came up with the name and the concept, and had a number of dinners around the Bay Area with some of the people, the leading figures in AI, and I helped recruit the initial team. In fact, the Ilya Sutskever, who was really quite fundamental to the success of OpenAI, I put a tremendous amount of effort into recruiting Ilya, and he changed his mind a few times and ultimately decided to go with OpenAI. But if he had not gone with OpenAI would not have succeeded. I really put a lot of effort into creating this organization to serve as a counterweight to Google.
And then just in summary, one last clip of Elon kind of spelling the demise of what he was investing in.
And then I kind of took my eye off the ball, I guess, and they are now closed source, and they are obviously for profit, and they're closely allied with Microsoft.
He was investing in OpenAI because he viewed that as a counter to Google. OpenAI, nonprofit, Google closed for profit. He sees Google as a threat, so he was investing in OpenAI, non-for-profit. But then he took his eye off the ball, and that company switched directions to closed source for profit, now controlled by Microsoft, which is not what Elon wanted. So the rest of these clips, there's several of them on the internet. I find them interesting. I've shown you some of the highlights that have gotten me thinking about things with AI that I haven't thought of before. Some of the clips, Elon will go on and talk about how he's doing his best to create a new AI that is the positive change that he wants, a new AI that is pro-human. Now, I'm someone I don't like Elon, just blind faith into him. I like some of what he's done. I do think it's a little cautious that this one man controls major aspects of the automobile industry with Tesla, a major corner of free speech with Twitter, the entire internet with Starlink, space travel with SpaceX, human health with Neuralink. And now he's talking about how he wants to get into a pro-human, full cautions involved AI business. That's a lot for one man to control. When I look at some of the individual things, like with Twitter, it's like, dude, I like what he's doing. When I look at what he said in some of these additional clips about the AI he wants, it's like, dude, as far as developing AI, I like what you're doing. But on the whole, it's like he's controlling a lot. And for one man to control a lot, that's putting a lot of our eggs in one basket. I think there's healthy caution there. But nonetheless, I appreciate seeing these clips as they've got me thinking about AI. They've got me, I feel, healthfully skeptical of AI, and also very aware that there's a lot of pitfalls that just aren't being accounted for with some of the companies and individuals involved in ushering along the AI wave. So I appreciate you watching with me and awakening to maybe new considerations. I look forward to seeing you on our next video. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers. Hey, my friend, I am proud to say today's video is brought to you by Bioptimizers and Magnesium Breakthrough, one of my favorite companies on the planet. I'm going to share something with you that I don't want to. I've been a little bit frazzled lately. I'm under deadlines all the time with work. I've also got my family responsibilities, and I'm keeping up to speed on world events, which tend to be stressful. So it's left me frazzled and stressed out throughout the day. And then I remembered Magnesium Breakthrough. I'm used to taking it just before sleep, which is incredible, helps me sleep better and reduce stress. But then I started taking it in the morning with my morning coffee, which I find helped balance me out, not just from the coffee, which I love, but also balanced me out from the stress that I'm under starting the day, so that the things I encounter that would normally start to feel really stressful just started feeling like regular things that I was doing, which is exactly how they should feel. And Magnesium Breakthrough helped me get there. Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 potent forms of magnesium that your body needs to support over 300 functions, including feeling calm, centered, and in control of your stress levels. If you want to bring more of that into your life quickly and easily, then go to magbreakthrough.com/JPReacts. And while you're there, use the discount code JPReacts10 for a discount. And Bioptimizers always loves to give away free gifts with purchase. It's one of the reasons why I love them. Thank you, Bioptimizers.